So today, USPS, the Postal Service, brought me some stuff. They didn't try to send it across the country and back this time, so it actually got here pretty quick. I was kind of worried they might try to send it to France or something like that this time, but they actually came through. So anyway, I guess over here I just installed this wheel cylinder. I don't know if I mentioned it in an earlier video, but Grandpa had this one laying around. It has a different fitting. I don't know what year that is. It doesn't take the quarter-inch brake line that I use I used everywhere else with the 7/16 I think 24 thread fittings that I put on all my lines. So that showed up today. I didn't like I kind of cheaped out on my wheel cylinder. Maybe the reason it's $20 instead of all the others that I see that were a little bit cheaper could be a little bit in the cast or a little bit more expensive. Like most of them around $40 to $50. I got that for $20 shipped, and it might be something to do with the casting. It had these rubber seals, which I don't really like as much as these. Like this seems like a sturdier rubber. What I did is I pulled the pistons out of this wheel cylinder. They were the same diameter inner piston there. So I pulled the pistons out and then pulled these rubber ends, I guess boots, off of this other one, and installed the inner pieces into this piece. So I kind of got, I think, probably some higher quality parts out of this one, and used it in the cheaper wheel cylinder. Really all I needed was the casting with the different thread. I guess I could have tapped that out, but I didn't want to necessarily ruin the casting if there's another vehicle that could be used on. So that's in. Midwest Early Ford also sent me a package. These are all the new grease seals for the front and rear inner bearings, and then these fiber washers go on the rear. Those steel washers there with the notch cut go on the outer side of the front hubs. That package there, they sent me the wrong part. Those are for holding the retainer. I guess I can show you here. This is the e-brake lever. There's a pin that goes through the shoe, and on the back side, that clip that I just showed you crimps around in a groove on the back side, the little pin that goes through that. They sent me those pins instead of the little metal clip that goes on this parking brake cable. The metal clip sits up against this tube here and keeps the spring inside the backing plate hub drum assembly. That way you've got some tension on this so that it will stretch back out. The part that I needed, which they'll send me, but it probably won't be here until next week, is this piece. You can see it's a really, really thin piece of plate or steel. It's got a slot cut in it with a hole that clips around that cable. I could use one of those, but I mean, I don't have two of these unless I opened up another rear end to steal parts from, but so that's why I ordered a pair of them. So unfortunately, I need those little plates to hold those springs in before I can put the rear hub back together. So this weekend, it's going to be sitting like this, probably, at least on the back end. I can probably finish up the front end. I need to repack. What I'm getting ready to do here is I've pulled the seals and the retaining clips and the bearings out of the rear hubs. I'm getting ready to clean the bearings so that I can repack them. But those seals are going to be replaced. I'm going to use a paint thinner to clean out the bearings. I got to do it for the front too, or the front as well. So those are all the bearings for this side, and I've got the bearings for that side over here. So today I'm going to clean out the inside of the hubs a little bit more. I kind of did a little bit last night, clean out the inside of that, and then I'll keep working on the hubs, and then I'll clean out the bearings. I ordered some wheel bearing grease from Napa. I've got a lot of grease around here. I'm not really sure on what kind of grease to use. I'm kind of deferring to the old timers that more work on these old cars. They say that the tolerances between the axle spindles and the bearings are a little bit more loose than modern. Like if I was going to do a bearing on a more modern vehicle like what's out there or something, I'd want to use what's on the shelf pretty much at AutoZone or something like that. But apparently the tolerance is a little bit more loose on these older vehicles, and you want a heavier grease for it. So I tried to order the kind that some of those old timers tried to recommend. I couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find AutoZone or O'Reilly's. I went to Napa. They didn't have it on the shelf. They said they had one up in Troy, which is, I don't know, about an hour and a half north of here. I ordered it yesterday. It was supposed to be in at 5:30 last night, and it wasn't there. So I talked to another guy. Obviously, they changed shifts or something like that. So it was another guy I talked to, and he said he tried to order it again. They only had one up in Troy, and that could be that it's not even up there. If they've only got one on the inventory, it could have been sold. It could have been someone could have made an error a long time ago or something like that, and it's not accounted for. But if that doesn't show up tonight or today, I may have to try to find another grease that's good for these old drums. It's a heavier grease. If that does show up, then I'll be able to reassemble at least the front hubs today. If not, then I'm going to have to find substitute grease. Not sure what else to talk about. I mean, I've got a new stoplight switch. That's this thing here. I had one that was kind of rusty, and I kind of cleaned it up and painted the housing. I painted the housing to that. But it was only like $6, and I already had an order coming in for all the grease seals you see over there. I just went ahead and got that to have a new one, just for the fact that if that one was bad that was on there, if that one was bad I really wouldn't know. I don't think. I think the way this works is it uses pressure from the fluid, and probably has like a diaphragm or something inside. I haven't opened one up, but that's my guess. Is it works off of a diaphragm to connect these terminals to. So if it was bad, I wouldn't know until I put pressure in the system, and if I didn't have a brake light, then I'd have to pull it out and re-bleed the whole system. So I just went ahead and ordered that, just to save me the trouble of having to worry about the possibility of that happening, because it's not that big of a pain to bleed the whole brake system, but it is worth $6 not to have to do it again. So guess that's about it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning these bearings up, and then maybe by the time that's done, I'll have. I think they said Napa had a delivery